So we have 22 students from Whitworth University in Spokane with us and 2 staff. And we just spent the morning just now out in the forest lopping and limbing. So for our guests here, how many of you did this for the first time today, lopping and limbing and schlepping? A few. Okay, we didn't know that we had some experts here. All right, you're already on the list to come back then. So we were very lucky. Yesterday there was a lot of rain. Yesterday the forecast for today was 80% rain, especially in the morning. We thought, oh, this may not work. But fortunately we lucked out. We had beautiful weather. There was a little bit of rain, but my goodness, we got a lot done. Hey, Venmos So the pros and the beginners, you really kicked into gear. Thank you so much. You've really helped the Abbey make this area more beautiful and safe. So the theme of your visit today is self-care and reflective practices. And I know that Venerable Damcho and Venerable Nima directed you to the last chapter in this book, Open Heart, Clear Mind. This is written by our abbess, Venerable Thupten Chodron. And the last chapter is very beautiful. It clearly, succinctly lines out what compassion is, and the title of the chapter is Compassion in Action. And we thought this would be a really good bit of information to help you think about self-care as you continue with your university studies. And this group in particular is very much involved in volunteering in the community. And so, as you all may know, if you're not paying attention to self-care, things don't go so well. So I'm just going to share some sections from the book that I think will help us all keep in mind what self-care is about and how it can fuel our aspiration and energy to be of service to others, as you're all doing. In the book, Venerable Chodron quotes His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and he says this: "The key element in a happy life and in a harmonious society is compassion. This is the essence of the Buddha's teaching, and of course it's encouraged by all world religions, and I might add, this is a human value that we all hold, just as human beings, regardless of whether we're religious or not." In this book, Venerable Chodron says, compassion is honest and direct communication with others. The ability to understand others and to spontaneously help them the same way we help ourselves. In doing this, the sense of I and other is reduced. And in doing this, compassion is imbued with humility. So as we can see around the world, in this country, just globally, this thing of I and other has just become heightened. And when we have this orientation of compassion, it reduces that I and other. She goes on to say, cultivating compassion for others includes cultivating compassion for ourselves and becoming skilled and sensitive as to how to care for ourselves. This means caring not just for our body, but also for our mind. So telling ourselves just to be patient or to be compassionate, we can say those words out loud to ourselves, we can say it to our friend, simply doesn't work. I remember in grade 12, I had a teacher, we really liked him. He was our English teacher. Constantly, he would tell us to relax. Every time he said it, we had no clue what he was talking about. He would just say, relax. No idea. So in this chapter, Venerable Chodron gives us some really clear guidelines about how to do self-care. And this is not just for a spiritual practitioner. This is actually for anybody, and they're very doable suggestions. Some of them you may know really well. You're maybe already doing these. Maybe you're hearing this in a different way today, and it will help you, and you can talk about it on the way home. So Venerable Chodron recommends that first thing, we make a decision that we have some quiet time twice a day. This doesn't have to be a big chunk of time. And there's evidence, you can try it out for yourself. Maybe some of you are early risers. Is anyone here a natural early riser? One or two, yeah. So try setting your alarm to go off 10 minutes early. Our mind is much more clear. At first there's the fogginess, right? Maybe you have to get a cup of tea. But our mind is more clear. We're not, we haven't been through the busyness of the day, and we're more open to just sitting and reflecting. So Venerable Children recommends that, so get up 10 minutes early. Sit quietly in a place where you live, where it's just quiet. Turn your cell phone off. Make sure it's off. Have your computer closed. So you sit quietly. And then you can just think about, today I'm going to make this aspiration where I'm going to be as much help as possible to everyone I encounter. Now you may have that in your mind already, but making that aspiration the moment you get up has a very big impact when the mind is quiet. And then she says, in addition to doing that, make sure you have some quiet time in the evening before you go to bed. Now don't do it at 11:30 at night when you're wasted. But, find a time. Just decide that this is my time. Maybe it's 8:30. Again, shut off the phone. Close down the computer and sit there and then reflect on your day. And just think about the interactions that you had with people, with teachers. Maybe you're out volunteering, as you all do. And just see, how did those interactions go? Was I reactive in any moment? Maybe I did something really well. Maybe someone who really pushes my button, I gave them some space and I showed them kindness. See, again, you just sit quietly. The thing about this is that you decide that these become non-negotiables. You don't do it Thursday, and then by Friday you think, oh, it's Friday. I've worked hard all week. I don't have to do this. Besides, I'm going out tonight. And then you say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it for a bit longer. Then you get to Saturday and it's like, oh, my friends asked me to go out. I'll save it till Sunday. Well, we keep putting it off, and pretty soon that twice daily reflective period of time, even if it's just 10 minutes each time, it's gone. It's not happening. So you have to decide that this is going to be something I do, and you do it at the same time, and you stick with it. Our friends, everybody, you know what? They can wait if we time it correctly. It can be a non-negotiable. And then you're going to start seeing headway in how you're getting to know yourself. So as Venerable Children says, in these daily periods of quiet time, we can reflect on our actions, determine how we want to act with others. That's in the morning. And then that allows us to integrate our aspirations when we're out there at work, when we're in class, when we're volunteering. So I think as we think more about self-care, especially people in your age group, you can get excited about doing so many things. There's so many possibilities, so many people you can help, so many things to study, so many things to learn. And pretty soon there's so many things to do. You can be just in a state of overwhelm and you get stalled. You don't know what to do. Or how many people are really good at pushing yourself beyond what you're probably capable of doing? There's some of us in here. So then we get overtired, we can get stressed out, we get burnt out, and then we're not really much use to anyone in that state. So Venerable Children says the really good thing to do is to start making a list of things you want to accomplish. Maybe you do it each semester. And then you prioritize. What's really important? And then maybe you share this list with another person who knows you, maybe a few friends, and you say, here's my list of what I want to do this semester with my classes, with volunteering, with reaching out to other people. You want to check this and see if it's realistic, since you know me a bit. And then you get some feedback. And then pick people who are going to give you honest feedback. Don't pick the person who's going to say, yeah, that's great, you can do it all. Add a few more. The other thing is that we have to, in these periods of quiet time, we have to be patient with ourselves and we have to be forgiving because we're human beings, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to go into periods of overstretching ourselves and getting stressed. We'll then fall to the other side of getting lazy and self-indulgent. And then those two extremes, if we're in those, either one, then we're not really, working to our potential and being the kind of person we want to be. So then this comes to the whole topic of balance. And I can't say that I have completely figured this one out yet. I think Venerable Children, our abbess, has got it totally figured out, and there might be some other people. And then there's periods where we've got it figured out, and then I always like to think, okay, I've got it figured out for this week, it's going to last for the rest of my life. But it's not like that. You know, it's like skiing or surfing or even walking around here. The ground's uneven. You know, our body and our mind, they're constantly readjusting to the ground we're covering. There's this constant thing going on so that we're not falling down. And it's the same thing with trying to establish balance in our life. And we have to do this not with a mind that's critical and judgmental and beating ourselves up all the time, because that just makes us miserable, and then we're miserable to everyone around us. But we have to do it with a mind that's filled with some kindness. And when we can do that for ourselves, then naturally we can do that for others. So the last thing I want to bring out here with this book is that Venerable Children, this book was published in 1990. So I imagine she was working on it between 98 and 90, or maybe she was working on it for much longer, but it was published in 1990. Well, at that point, there was no World Wide Web. Mobile phones really came into general use in 1995. The iPhone, is this an iPhone? Something similar? 2007 for the iPhone. When did these come out? Sometime around there? All of this technology has totally changed our minds. So Venerable Children didn't have a chapter here on how to manage our life and stay sane and be plugged in 24/7. So you're going to say, oh, Samton, you're so old-fashioned. Turn it off. This is not your best friend. Truly, it's not your best friend. It's a good tool, but it's not your best friend. It'll make you crazy. I have a friend, he works for a big company in, I don't know, somewhere in California. When I met up with him 3 years ago, he pulled out 2 cell phones. I said, what are you doing with 2 cell phones? He says, well, this is my work one and this is my personal life one. I thought, wow, you got a lot of time in your hands if you got that. But truly, start giving yourself some time away from social media each day and see what that does. I mean, you'll have to do your own experiments. But how did it feel today? Have we got any microphones around right now, Venerable Yeshe? 1. 2 volunteers. How did it feel to be in the forest today away from your phone? Any comments? You were totally missing it the whole time.
Well, for me, I guess there is an aspect of I definitely felt in my pocket a couple of times to see if my phone was there, and it was not. But it felt good though, just to be talking with people and focusing on the work itself, and just kind of being away from the noise of social media and stuff like that.
Thank you. Anyone else want to say something about working in the forest? Just a few words.
For me, it's very refreshing because every day we constantly check our phone, especially with schoolwork and emails. And today you just totally get engaged yourself with nature and with people around you. So I even forgot that I don't have my phone with me. And I realized that, oh my gosh, I can do without a phone.
Yeah, quite a revelation. So in closing, I hope this day here gives you some space. The semester is about another month long, 3 weeks long, roughly. And I think, taking a break, getting some really good exercise, fresh air, chatting with others. You've helped the Abbey incredibly, so thank you so much. You're helping to make our forest safer and cleaner. This is the kind of thing we need to do for ourselves. And you need to find this space of exercise and quiet time daily. And then making sure you're surrounding yourself with really good friends who are going to support you in making virtuous choices. So we'll continue our conversation about self-care during lunch. And thank you so much for your help.